Well, today we're gonna have 2 days of Gatoh Move ChocoPro. We even got AEW Elevation. We're also going to discuss certain things. I don't know if it's true or not regarding about the release of Samoa Joe, which I find kind of like a load of BS in my opinion. But also we'll throw in some news updates for all of you. So get ready for another episode for Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to Deleted Wrestle Zone. All things that it's pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I'm your host, Jay right here. So let's start off with Gatoh Move Pro Wrestling with their ChocoPro events that they normally do. They had back to back on 2 different days on a Saturday and Sunday, which was on the 17th of April and the 18th of April. Now, however, on the first day of April, I want to keep note, May Segura was not involved on the first day due to the fact that she was involved in another event with Tokyo Yoshi Pro as her alter ego known as May Saint Michelle, which is a part of the faction called Niobe Shikingun with Saki-sama, and that's for another conversation, another review for another time. But right now, let's talk about Choco Pro 107. The first opening match was Antonio Honda and Tokiko Kitahara taking on Lulu Pencil and Minoru Fujita. Now, as you know, Antonio Honda, he's a very funny wrestler. He has great ways of making people laugh, and whenever he teams up with Tokiko, he dresses differently. He acts like a little differently. The match was pretty well, but however, you guys can tell, and if you guys haven't noticed, in this particular match, Antonio Honda is determined to win because he has one thing in mind that he wants to get, and that is the um, Asian Dream Tag Team Championship that are currently being occupied by the Best Bros. Now, last time when he faced Mei Shiguro, he thought in his mind that he gets an opportunity of the title, but however, it doesn't happen that way. But apparently, what was going on is that it wasn't a tag team match, and Emi Sakura wasn't going to let that happen. But the match was pretty well. It was great. So, but however, Honda and Kiyahara won the match. But however, he is still determined to get those titles. But however, Sakura would never allow that. But somehow, I don't know what they said in Japanese, but I can tell by in the end of this whole thing in the post match that I guess Honda might have told Sakura to consider it for some odd reasons. I'm not sure what. I mean, I wish Balianaki would have just translated for all of us to understand when he's saying he's the only English commentator, well, English speaker who can translate what's going on. But yeah, next match we have is Chei Koishikawa taking on uh, Waka Suki Tsukiyama. I don't know who this Waka Tsukiyama, but man, she's really interesting to watch. I like her gear and all that. But I've always seen Koshikawa lose every match or win certain tag team matches. But however, this time she kind of improved a little bit in this particular one. I was like, all right. But I did not expect her to win. But I say I'll give her a straight up pass on this one. The main event, we have Psycho taking on Balianaka. Now, there's a reason this match existed in the first place. As I say, Meisha Girl wasn't around. Um, Psycho, along with his tag team partner, Chango, they are set to face the Best Bros, consistent of Meisha Girl and Balianaki. But the match was like so intense. Psycho was determined to break Balianaki in every way. He even took him outside of the building through a window. So pretty interesting to see. But that's how it went. But however, Balianaki was not even close in defeating Psycho, because Psycho picked up the victory with a pinfall. Now let's go to the following day, ChocoPro 108 on the 18th of April. We have a women's tag team match. We have Sayaka and Ayumi um, Hayashi taking on Emi Sakura and Lulu Pencil. A really fun match. I wasn't expecting um, Sayaka and Ayumi to win. I was thinking it was going to be Lulu Pencil and Emi Sakura, but no, boy, I wish I would just take that back. But it was a pretty good match. There were some funny moments where they accidentally misfired, and it's natural how it goes in this type of wrestling show. But it is what it is. So Sayaka and Ayumi won, all thanks to their misfires. I don't know how that happens. Next match, we got Cheiko Ishikawa taking on, of course, the champion, Minoru Fujita. As you know, Fujita, he's a bit of aggressive. He knows exactly what he needs to do to win a match, and that's exactly what he did. He broke Koishikawa's part of many things around the match, but she was no match for the champion at all. Now, the main event is the All Asian Tag Team Championships. We got Psycho and Chango taking on the Best Bros. Now, you would have assumed right away when you look at Psycho and Chango, they seem like the capable tag team that could dethrone the Best Bros. From according to Mei Shigura, they're like maybe 100 or less days they have been tag team champions. Um, don't know if they who they won it from, but it was a great match. Seeing that that Chango and Psycho, but however, they were upset at knowing that they lost against the Best Bros. They couldn't believe it. But the real question is, who will be the actual team that can dethrone them? Right now, Antonio Honda is on the title hunt along with Kirihara. We just gotta wait and see what's gonna happen down the line. So I'll end it right here with Gatoh Move. So let's move on to AEW Dark Elevation. Okay, so we got AEW Elevation. Opening match is none other than Hangman Page taking on Spencer Slade. Don't know who he is, but one thing I did learn about this guy, I did not know, according to what I've been told, from what it was revealed during Elevation, that this guy is deaf. I'm like, whoa, that is impressive, you know? Now, whoever say the deaf people should not be involved in wrestling is an Oscar Mayer wiener. And I say this because people, as you guys know, I'm a music lover. There's a one-armed drummer, and people say he should have just quit. No, whoever said that too is also an Oscar Mayer wiener. But it was a very short match, but very interesting thing to know about Spencer Slade. But I gave him props for knowing that that's what it is. I did not expect that. But Hangman Page won. Uh, as soon as he won, he tried to get some cold ones, but Spencer Slade was gone, so he wasn't gonna waste a free beer. So he gave it to Rick Knox instead. I thought that was a perfect way to end his match. Next match, we have Britt Baker along with Rebel taking on Tasha Price. Now, this was a very interesting storyline where they're going with Britt Baker. As you know, I think since the very beginning with AEW first launch, we all assumed Britt Baker could be one of the competitors who can be the first ever AEW Women's World Champion. But right now, she's taking more like in the story wise easy route to gain up the ranks. As you know, currently right now we have Tay Conti, who is number one. So the idea is that she's only going to make appearances in Dark and Elevation to gain up the rankings, because if you put her in a regular match on Dynamite, she could there's I'm going to say this as the Scott Steiner math, there's a 50-50 chance you could win. So I don't want to do that whole mouth thing, but you can guess why. But it was a very interesting match. I have to say, there's some good spots where Tesha Price actually put on a fight, but it wasn't enough. As you know, uh, uh, Britt actually put her in a lock, that infamous jaw lock. So she won her match. So we'll see what happens in the rankings. Next up, we got Jurassic Express, Jungle Boy, and Luchasaurus. No Marco Stunt on their side this time, taking on Jay Leon and Midas Black. Um, this one went on really, really quickly. If you guys know this or not, Jungle Boy is in fact going to be facing in the main event for the TNT Championship against Darby Allin, which is going to be great. I can't wait to see that. But like I said, this match went really quick. I did not expect it. I thought it would have been put on a good show, but it really showed like these guys are being serious. They're in the top 5 ranks of the tag team division. We'll just wait and see what's gonna go down once we get to that whole thing. Now the next match we got the TH2 taking on Vario Morales and Andres Montoya. Um, Another interesting match. But I'm gonna skip ahead on this one on a great spot. I like how Angelico was able to put um, Montoya into uh, the submission move. I forgot what he called it, but it was beautiful the way it ended. It did gave another win for TH2. I'm not sure how far they are in the rankings, but I can guarantee that hopefully down the line we can see them in the top 5. Now, Paul White set up a nice interviewing the Acclaim. Mostly, I was surprised about Anthony Bowen. I did not know the guy was a homosexual, but he has like this attitude that he could put on a show. But AEW has opened up to people in that position, to you know allow them, those who, doesn't matter if you're gay, if you're black or white or Asian or whatever. That's always been the case. So we do know he's healing. He even gave a medical update. He's been injured. He will be back soon, and we can't wait to see what he's gonna do. We don't know. I'm not sure how they are in the rankings. I do know not too long ago they did had a shot for the AEW tag team titles, but we'll see where they're gonna go with it. Next match, we got Team Taz, Cage, and Starks taking on Stone, Rockwell, and Mike Magnum. Now, you can say in this particular match there is no beef between Starks and Cage, but there was a moment like it seems like there was happening. It's like if you say this, it's kind of like, oh, I spoke too soon. That they're gonna blow up sooner or later, and that's the way it kind of blipped. But we'll see how down the line. I mean, if they are planning, I'm thinking, okay, Cage could leave Team Taz and he could be replaced by someone else. I don't know, but we'll see where they're gonna go with that down the line. Next match, we got the scary nightmare Abaddon taking on Sky Blue. Now, Sky Blue was a bit nervous from the beginning, but you know how it is with Abaddon. She will put you down no matter what, and that's what she did. Next match, we got Orange Cassidy take on Prince Kai. This match went even quicker, more quicker than than Jurassic Express. He just put on the beach break, and it's over. 1, 2, 3, it's over. So that's one of the things I like. Is like easy, but that's what I like about this match. Next match, we got Private Party along with Matt Hardy taking on Dark Order members Alex Reynolds and Cole Cabana, and the other members of the Dark Order were there along with -1. But as you know, Stu got himself into some dumb move. He shoved one. I forgot which one was it. I think Isaiah's Cassidy, and the ref threw them out. But the match ended with Private Party winning. As you know, this feud between the Hardy family office is not over yet, but we'll see what's gonna be going down the line with this. Next match, we have Thunder Rosa taking on Shauna Reed. As you know, I've always been impressed with Thunder Rosa. I always did mention, I always talk a lot about her, what a great competitor she is. This match was really good. Even there were some good spots with Shauna, but it was not enough. Even with Thunder Rosa doing the Fire Thunder Driver. So that's how it ends with the match, giving her another win in for the rankings. Next match, we got the Best Friends along with Orange Cassidy taking on Kit Sackett and Hayden Blackland. As you know, this is one of those matches where Best Friends are not put to the test just a little bit now that Trent is back. And however, it did ended with the Best Friends winning the match. I'm really happy how that turned out. Next match, we have Maddie Ronkowski and Nyla Rose taking on legit Layla Hirsch and Ryu Izanami. Now, keep in mind, what I like about this is the great chemistry that it was built up for Layla Hirsch and Ryo Izanami. I have to say, I would love to see Layla Hirsch and Ryo Izanami be a tag team because they feel like they can get along great. I mean, look, we can talk about tag teams as much as we want, but that's another conversation for another time. But I like this combination. I'm not sure if this is pre-tape because I was fully aware that Ryu Izanami was on her way back to Japan. But it was a good match. It did allow for Layla Hirsch to apply the armbar to Maddie Rakowski, but Maddie quickly tapped out because she does not want to be there long enough fighting to get free. So it was a pretty good match. I liked it. I even liked how Layla and Rio actually acted up. Now this next match is a very interesting one. As you know that there's now a war between two different factions. Austin Gunn, a part of the Nightmare family, taking on the Factory, Aaron Solo. As you know, Aaron Solo was one of the three defectors who turned on the Nightmare family. He wasn't happy to face Aaron Solo because I don't know exactly how it's going on, but throughout this entire match, you see Nick Camarado, you see QT looking on. Now, you could expect in this particular match where QT can order Nick Camarado to hurt Colton, who's the second to Austin, but it didn't go that way. Austin picked up a good victory in this whole thing. But however, after the match, there was an interview that he conducted. Like he doesn't know what to say. He's still frustrated after what QT did. Now Billy came out to talk, saying, "Oh, we know how he felt." But here's the thing: QT comes out saying that he loves his sons if they were his own. But however, Billy was saying, "How dare you talk about my sons? If you were planning to leave, I would have been known about it." But it didn't. So basically, he believes what he did to him and his sons, he took it too far. But of course, QT decided to take it a little too far himself and wham, blammo, whacked them down. So this is one of those matches that kind of tells the story that there still certain members of the Nightmare family don't know what to make of this because of the defection by the Factory. Now the next match we got Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page taking on Carly Bravo and the, Dean Alexander. This was another of those matches where you see these two guys are not going to be ignored any longer after many things that took place. So I can tell you right away that Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky won, but however, their little message is not done. They actually, Ethan actually put Carly Bravo in the Ego's Edge, and send a direct message. Now, let's finish it up with the main event. This one is one of my, I have to say, the top main event. We have the Seidel brothers, Matt and Mike, teaming up with Danny Limelight, taking on Konosuke Takeshita, MT Nakasawa, and Kenny Omega. I have to say, best match of the night. Why do I say that? Because there's some great moments. Now, my buddy, who I've been talking to, he said that he likes how Danny Limelight works in AEW. But this is one of those matches I think AEW, in my opinion, needs to pay attention to Danny Limelight. Now, I have met him on countless occasions. Great guy, you know, all of this and that. I love this match. There were some great moments where you thought the match was over, but however, it did ended with Takeshita picking up the victory for this match, allowing him to win. I have to, like I said, great match, but sadly, it was revealed on his Twitter account he's heading back to Japan. But he said he would love to come back as the top champion in DDT Pro Wrestling. I would love to see that, but the real question is, are they going to go with that whole thing with collecting the belts that Kenny has? I don't know, but great match. I think that's it with AEW Elevation. So let's talk about an interesting subject right now. It's all about Samoa Joe. All right. As you know, last week we hit the 1 year mark, April 15th. Now, if you guys don't know where I'm referring to, that is the year where the day of last year, of 2020, where 40 plus WWE staffers, that includes wrestlers, crew members, coaches, producers, they were all released by WWE. Now, according to Daja Gonzalez, she said that certain times after WrestleMania they will release certain people, and she was amongst them. But last year was the craziest one of them all. Now, this past Thursday, they just released 10 wrestlers, and some of us were up to surprises who it was. Amongst them was Samoa Joe. Now, I was like, how do I say this? Going, what the hell? Why did you guys release them? There was no doubt in from what people were saying online that he was getting ready to be cleared to go back into wrestling. He was being doing commentating because he had a concussion. We were all expecting him to make his in-ring return, but all of a sudden he was amongst the 10 wrestlers that were released on April 15th of 2021. Now, it made no absolute sense to me why the release. Now, I've been a Samoa Joe fan for years, since I first saw him in AEW. I mean, in TNA. Sorry, my bad. But anyway, this is the thing that kind of brought my attention yesterday. I I saw this in a YouTube channel called Press Wrestling Hub. Now, I don't know if this whole thing is 100% true or not, but to me, I would like to say I like to call it bullshit. And I'll tell you why. Now, I know for all of you Samoa Joe fans out there are probably saying, what exactly did the Wrestling Hub reveal? The reasons why he was released. Like I said, I don't know if it's 100% true or not, but I like to say I like to call this bullshit. The real reason he was released, according to Wrestling Hub, for wherever they got this source, the reasons why Samoa Joe was released was because of his weight. Yeah, you can see in my face. I'm like, what? Okay, this is a problem that gets me going. I'm like, what the fuck? Are they saying that they're fat shaming Samoa Joe? Have any of you guys seen Samoa Joe? The dude is incredible for a guy his size. The dude is Samoan. He's supposed to look like that. But they're saying because of his weight? I like I like to know where Wrestling Hub got this information, because to me, I don't feel that is the excuse of his weight. To me, that's kind of messed up. I mean, he was in fantastic shape when he first arrived, even before that. But because of his weight, they got to do better than that. This is what bothers me. Joe is a great competitor. Have you guys ever seen him in the X Division, X Division TNA? The dude is amazing. Come on. Like I said, I've been a fan of Samoa Joe. And they're saying that he got released because of his weight? Where did they get on this whole thing? To me, this is why I like to call it bullshit, because there is no way that's the reason Samoa Joe was released. His weight? I mean, look at the Big Show. Look at Mark Henry, Otis. Are you saying those guys don't matter? You're saying that Samoa Joe is way more bigger than the others? To me, that's why I said it's bullshit. Now, I apologize for everybody for cursing on this part of the episode. I'm like, that is what makes me mad. How can people say that? Now, like I said, I don't know where Wrestling Hub get this information. But to me, I don't feel that is the reason. Now, this is the reason I call this out, saying there is no way because of his weight. If you guys been aware, he had a concussion. What was it, a year ago, and he was in commentary since then. Now, concussions is a bad thing that could happen. I would have assumed that he would have recovered whenever he was ready. But according to what was revealed, Samoa Joe was not even cleared yet by WWE doctors. And I have a problem with those people as well. You see, here's the thing. Now that he's released, he can go with Impact Wrestling or AEW. But he's still not medically cleared. If I hear, you guys probably would love to hear this. If I hear that a doctor outside of WWE said, "Oh, he's medically cleared," I like to know, where is this WWE doctor who said it. It's the same kind of BS concept that took place with Daniel Bryan a couple years ago. Remember, he was injured. They're saying he was okay. He was on the verge of leaving because WWE are saying he's not cleared to wrestle. But outside doctor says he was. If the outside doctor says the same thing to Samoa Joe, I like to call the WWE doctors, you guys are full of shit. That's what I would say. Trust me. And it gets me mad because you're saying he was released because of his weight. Bullshit. We know he was injured and he's not medically cleared. If I find out that he was already medically cleared, then I call BS. That's how I see it. But there's no guarantee Joe will find success outside of WWE, and that's going to be WWE's fault. So, you guys screwed up. You screwed the pooch, but someone's going to pick up the mess. So right now, let's move on with some news updates. Okie dokie. Now, as you guys know, I don't watch Raw or SmackDown that much, but there was some great news that came out. Apparently, we got Humberto Carrillo has finally come back to Raw. I did not expect that. However, he's been gone for 6 months, but I have to say it's great to see him. I love Humberto Carrillo's work before he was joining WWE, but I don't know what they're gonna do with him. I hope they give him a good push because he should have had a good push right from the start. But welcome back, Humberto. We can't wait to see more of you down the line. Now, as you guys may or may not have heard, there were circulations about there was a big announcement coming from Major League Wrestling, or as we call them, MLW, that they're going to have a TV deal, and it's finally been revealed they have a TV deal. This one came not only on the MLW Twitter page, even Court Bauer, the owner of MLW, said that they're going to be on Vice TV. This is great news because Vice TV is one of those networks I like to watch because they have certain things that I enjoy, like Dark Side of the Ring, all of this and that. So I'm really happy for that. Now, as you know, last week was the start of the post Wednesday Night War. Now, NXT actually moved on a Tuesday night, hoping that the ratings will do better, that they're no longer competing against AEW. However, that's not the case. It was revealed that WWE are not happy with the ratings with AEW. It turns out AEW this past Wednesday gained 1.2 million views with the .44 in the 18 to 49 demographic. This is the highest they have gone. They actually went back into the million mark. NXT, on the other hand, only had 768,000 views. Now, some of you, the hardcore WWE fans, would say, but J Rod, it should not have happened. We should have had a million views. And generally, I would agree with you. But keep in mind, it's not about who had the better show. The problem is, what is it that's being done wrong in NXT? AEW had some interesting things. The main event was Darby Allin in the TNT match. All of that, there were certain things that, because there was a lot of questions that were circulating because of that. People say, can AEW pick up the slack now that NXT is no longer butting heads with them on a Wednesday night? The answer is they did. This is the proof that showed, yes, they can succeed. They can do things better. But I don't know what went wrong with NXT. I mean, there were some great moments that happened, but it is what it is. I know WWE are not happy. They probably expected they were going to expect like a million views. But keep in mind, NXT is not a third brand as people would say. I mean, for me, I would like to, but it's not. They are nothing more than a developmental program where these guys will be called to the main roster. That is the reason it exists like that. Now, I know it's sad for you guys to hear that from me, but I didn't say it. There were discussions from other YouTube channels in wrestling to talk about that, but that's how it is. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode with me reviewing Gatoh Move Pro Wrestling, AEW Elevation, Dark Elevation, and of course talking about Samoa Joe and these news updates. Stay tuned for Tuesday Wrestling. Well, hopefully we got NWA back. We have, what's his name, AEW Dark, and and NXT. So I'll see you guys in the next DWZ time on the same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So goodbye. Mwah. And have a nice day. Bang!